Hello, good afternoon. I wanted to do a quick video because I just went out and I have too many animals. I just went out and with mushroom hunting again and found Jada, move. Hang on. Oh, jeez. Yeah. Sweet. Found those. I think there was 12 there, and I cut them in half, and I'm letting them soak in their salt water overnight. I'll fix them tomorrow. I also went out and picked some wild onions that are growing crazy in my yard. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you what I'm doing with those. And mind you, I have never done this before. Y'all remember my very first video? I am just starting on this. So I'm doing what I think would work in preserving these. So that's what I'm doing. If you guys see this and you have a better idea on what I can do, then by all means leave a comment, because I am all for learning all this stuff. So let me show you what I'm doing right now. Okay, I went out and gathered all these. Well, obviously more than that because I have stuff here. These are some that I've already cleaned, well, not cleaned, but you know, took the outer layer off of and then cut almost up to here, like onto here where it starts splitting off. That's where I cut these off. I am not going to put these in the oven to dehydrate them. I'm going to save those and eat these. I'm going to put them in something I can bake with in the next couple days. But I am taking these and cutting them up. This part. Now when it starts getting ratty at the ends, like, can you see that? I don't use that stuff, obviously. I mean, I'll stop cutting, like, you know, up in here. Okay, so I'll show you what I do, my process here. Onion. I take, see there's always a little bit hanging off like this, like the outer stuff. I just take it and pull that stuff off. That outer shell. And then, oh, there's another little onion trying to grow under there. You see that? My dog activated one of the little kid toys. He's a goof. So I'm just going to cut as close as I can to the end where the roots are coming off. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut right up to here. Do you see where it starts, you know, coming off by itself here? I'll probably take it and cut it right up to here. And set it over here. Now, y'all, you got to see this. Hang on. She's been out running the woods while I was mushroom hunting. Jade, are you wore out? Yeah. I'll take the not moving when I ask her if she's wore out as a yes. So anyway, now I'm just cutting them just in a couple inches long. Here, put them in here. Here's another one. This one's kind of funky. It doesn't really have an outer. It doesn't really have one. So we'll just cut that one right here. It still smells like onion. Because you guys know if you've been in this for any length of time, you know that there are look-alike onions and garlic. They look like this when they're growing. They look like that when you pull them out of the ground, but they do not smell like onion or garlic at all. Actually, I don't think any of it smells like garlic, but they don't smell like onion at all. So that's how you can tell you've got the wrong kind, and those will make you sick if you eat them. So make sure when you eat them it smells like onion, or when you pick them it smells like onion. Cut the ends off. And as soon as I get done with this part, I'm going to rinse them off really good. And then I'm going to put these in the oven. Sweet. Peeling off the outer layer. And you know what? This was only like 6 plants. And I've gotten so much green onion here that I'm going to dehydrate. Could you imagine this winter, if I still have some of this left, which I probably will because I'll be making more, pulling some of that out and put it in your soup? Like after I get this all dried and like this winter, and I start making a soup, and I'm like, I want like some fresh tasting onion in there. I've got to have some. So I'm not going to say I'm super excited because I say that all the time. Okay, I'm gonna have to rinse this out because it's got the ends of my mushrooms in it. This is what I usually take when I go mushroom hunting, since there's holes in it. That way the mushroom spores will hopefully fall out and land on the ground and make more mushrooms. So when you go mushroom hunting, it's a good idea not to go with a plastic bag or something that will contain it, like a big bowl or something like this. Or a lot of people say to use like those the orange net bags that like a bag of oranges comes in. You can take those. That way the spores will fall out and hopefully reproduce or some more mushrooms. So I'm going to clean this out and put those in and rinse them off. Okay, now I'm going to take them and put them on my baking sheet and try to make it as so they're not like laying all over each other as possible. And I wanted to tell you guys too, my dog Rize, the white pit, she is actually a foster kid. She is up for adoption. So if any of you guys are looking for a dog, she is adoptable. The thing is, she cannot be around other dogs. Like right now, I have my dogs out, and she's in her kennel. And then, you know, I change them out throughout the day. She does fine okay with them as long as there's no food or toys around in her area, because she's protective of them. My son and his wife, when they lived in Texas, my son found her roaming the streets outside of Houston, and they tried to find her home, and they tried to find her owners. Nobody ever claimed her. They took her to the vet to see if she was chipped. She wasn't chipped. They posted her on sites down there. Nobody claimed her. And so it's hard telling how long she had been on the streets. And when they found her, she was actually with another little dog. I think it was like a Chihuahua mix, or a short-haired Chihuahua maybe. But they actually found a home for that one. But they were never able to find a home for Rize. And they named her that because they obviously didn't know what her name was. So they had her for a few months, and they tried to make it work with their other dogs, but they've got another really dominant female, and so they did not get along, got in some pretty bad fights. So now I have her. She has been spayed. She's a super sweet girl. She's got a bit of an attitude when you tell her no. She's a little attitude. My dog's still playing with that Christmas toy, stuffed animal. But, you know, if you're wanting a dog, she will be like a one dog person. She's super sweet. She is older. She's like 7 or 8 years old, because when my son found her, took her to the vet, they said she was probably 6 or 7 years old. And so we've been taking care of her. I've had her since October. This is March. October, November, December, January, February, March. 5 months. And so anyway, this is home to her now. But I think if the right person came along, and we would be very, very particular who she goes to, because we don't want anybody stupid getting hold of her and mistreating her. Because that's not what dogs are for. It's not what any animals are for. But she will make sure she goes to a loving home who's going to treat her like part of the family and love her and, you know, take care of her like she needs to be cared for. But anyway, that was a side note. So, let me show you what I got going here. Okay. I've tried to spread these out somewhat where they're not overlapping each other so much. Looks like a freaking game of pickup sticks. You guys, I don't know, some of y'all guys watching this might be too young for that game to know what that game is. So, I have this. I have my oven set on 200, but I'm going to turn it down to warm now, because I know it's up there. And I'm going to stick it in the oven, and then we'll come back and I'll show you what they look like after they're done. Okay, they're done. I did dehydrated the onions. You saw me preparing them, sticking them in the oven, and they're done. This is what they look like. Ugh. You hear that? Super dry. They smell just like onions. So, put them in a jar, labeled it and dated it. And another thing you can do with these, and I don't have my, it's put up right now. Another thing you can do with these, after you dehydrate them, you can either leave them in this form, or if you have a coffee grinder, you know, obviously clean the coffee grinder out and then put these in the coffee grinder. You know, break them up some more, besides, you know, this pieces that are like this long, you know, break them up some more and put it in the coffee grinder and make a powder out of it. And then you have onion powder. So I will probably make more of these and then make it into a powder as well. So I will have these and the powder. The ends of them that had the bulbs on it that I said I was going to use, I did make scrambled eggs, and I cut those up and put them in my scrambled eggs. So that's it. Super easy stuff to do, and anybody can do it. And I just want to let you know, I follow a page on Facebook about wild edibles, and somebody on there was in a frantic because one of their family members had gotten really ill from eating something that they didn't know what it was that they ate. They posted a picture of the stuff, and it could have been one of two things. There was daffodils, which you cannot eat daffodils, and they had the lookalikes of onions, which are very toxic. You have to make sure that you're getting onions and not the lookalikes. A big way you can tell the difference in between the two is because the onions smell like onions. The lookalikes do not. They look like onions, but they have no onion smell to them, or very, very minimal onion smell to them. True wild onions are going to smell like onions. Okay. Super easy to do. Get your kids involved and go pick some wild onions. Even if you don't want to pick the bulbs, even if you want to dig, especially in Missouri, if you live in Missouri, even just digging those up, I hit so many rocks, it was very frustrating. And but have them just take off the tops. And you know, when you break them off, you can smell them, and it's going to smell like onions. So you know you have the right thing. So anyway, that's all I wanted. I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope you guys are having a blessed day. Remember, because of the virus going around, stay away from each other, 6 feet at least, 10 preferably, or just stay home if you can, and wash your hands, and have a great day.